Hello. Today we're going to be learning about two beginner particles and one intermediate level grammar form. But even if you've already learned all of these particles and grammar forms before, there's probably still going to be something you didn't already know. First, let's start with the most basic one, the particle man, which means only or just. This particle, my voice just cracked. This particle is extremely basic. You can use it in every situation. It always grammatically makes sense, and it always just means only or just. You just stick it onto the end of any noun, or even it can work with particles or markers. You can even use this one with other grammar forms. For example, you might have a grammar form like the verb 하다 becomes 하기만, like 하기만 하면, if you only do this. Or 지만 않다, which is 지 않다 with man in there, like only not doing something. Or 니다만, like the 합니다 form, for example. 합니다만, 니다만, it's kind of like saying but. It's just a more polite way of saying 지만. You can also use it with markers. The subject marker, object marker, or topic marker, it's completely optional. But if you do, man always comes first. So if you wanted to use it with the topic marker, it's man, and then the topic marker in that case would be 은. So you get 만은. With the subject marker, 만이. And with the object marker, 만을. So if you're using it with a marker, man will go first. However, if you're using it with another particle, man will go at the end. 만, 에게, 한테, like to or from. 까지, like up until. 까지만, or from. 에서만. You get the idea. So let's do our first example sentence with man. Banana, which is a banana. Banana 한 개. So one banana, 한 개만 먹었어요. I ate only one banana. I only ate one banana. Banana 한 개만 먹었어요. Or I just ate, meaning only, I just ate one banana. 너만, only you. 파티에 안 왔어. Only you did not come, 안 왔어, to the party. Only you didn't come to the party. Just you. 너만 파티에 안 왔어. 10분, 10 minutes. 10분만, so just 10 minutes. 기다리다, to wait. 기다려 주세요. Please wait just 10 minutes. So please just wait 10 minutes. Just wait 10 minutes, please. 10분만 기다려 주세요. Please just hold on for 10 minutes, okay? 비밀번호 is the password. 비밀번호는 철수에게만. So only 철수에게, only to 철수. 알려주다 is to inform, to tell. So I only told the password to 철수. 비밀번호는 철수에게만 알려줬어요. Literally, only or just to 철수. So the password, only to 철수, I informed, I told. This next one is more interesting, and that is the particle 밖에. This also means just or only, but it has to be followed by a negative verb. For example, it could be followed by a verb that starts with 안 하다, to not do, 안 가다, to not go. Or you could use a verb that ends with the 지 않다 form, like 가다, to go, or 가지 않다, to not go, 좋아하지 않다, to not like. Or you can have it with cannot, 못 가요, 못해요, I can't do it, I can't go, 못 와요, I can't come here. Or it can also be used with the verb 없다, which is the opposite of 있다. So 있다 would be to exist or like to have something, and 없다 is to not exist. Like 지금 시간이 없어요, I don't have time right now. Or you could also use it with the verb 모르다. 모르다 is the opposite of 알다, to know. So 모르다 means to not know. There is an exception though. 아니다 cannot be used with 밖에, however, even though it's negative. But any other negative verb is fine. So how does this work then? This word, 박, it's a regular Korean word. So you can say like 강아지는, the dog, 박, outside, 밖에 있어요. 밖에 있어요. The dog is outside, literally at the outside. Although this is not that usage. This is the particle 밖에 as one unit, but the word 밖 by itself means outside. So when you say noun outside with the particle a, you're actually saying outside of this noun. You might think of this as more like other than that noun, besides that noun. So in the sentence, 바나나 한 개 밖에 안 먹었어요. So you're saying literally outside of one banana, I didn't eat. You can think of it like saying besides one banana, I didn't eat. But then why would I want to use 만 instead of 밖에? Or why would I want to use 밖에 instead of 만 if they both mean only? It's because 밖에 will most of the time sound more natural. Let's talk about when 밖에 sounds more natural. So again, let's look at this literally. banana, 한 개, one, so one banana. 밖, outside of 안 먹었어요. So I didn't eat outside of one banana. I didn't eat besides one banana. Other than one banana, I didn't eat. But then why would I want to use 밖에 instead of 만? Because the nuance of 한 개만 먹었어요 is different than 한 개밖에 안 먹었어요. The nuance difference is that when you say 밖에, the nuance difference is like saying something is insufficient or lacking. So other than a banana, I didn't eat versus 바나나 한 개만 먹었어요. I ate only one banana. When might you want to say I ate only one banana? And when might you want to say I didn't eat anything except a banana? Because when you use 밖에, it really does emphasize that there's nothing else because it literally means outside of that. If you say, I only have 2001, you're saying, man, I got nothing except this 2001. It emphasizes that lacking, that absence of everything else. It has that nuance of something is insufficient or it's lacking. This doesn't have to be like you're complaining about something. I'm not saying that if you're complaining about something, you have to use 밖에. However, there are some restrictions on where you cannot use 밖에. You cannot use 밖에 to say only do something, like do only that. Like if I was going to try to say only eat vegetables, how could you possibly say eat outside of vegetables? No, you have to say 채소만 먹어요. 채소만 드세요. Eat only vegetables, please. So commands, and then for the same reason, you can't do suggestions. Should we only eat outside of vegetables? If you want to make a command where you're saying only or a suggestion like shall we or let's only do that, you have to use 만. So let's do some example sentences. 지금, now, 2,000원, so 2001. 2,000원밖에 없어요. So outside of 2001 right now, I don't have anything. Other than 2001, I don't have anything. So again, it's emphasizing like that lack. Not just that it's only 2001, but it's like, because I don't have all this other money, all that I'm left with, 지금 2,000원밖에 없어요. All I have right now is 2001. You could say, 지금 2,000원만 있어요. I have only 2001 right now. But most of the time, 밖에 will be more natural because you actually want that emphasis most of the time when you're saying that you can't do something, or you don't have something, or you're not doing something, or someone didn't do something, anything like that. You actually want that nuance because you're not just saying, I only have 2001 right here. You're saying, man, all I have is 2001. You want that nuance. Again, if it's not one of the cases where you can't use it, like a command or a suggestion, it will sound more natural to use 밖에. 지금 2,000원밖에 없어요. All I have right now is just 2001. I only have 2001. 저는, I, 한국어, Korean language, 밖에, outside of the Korean language, 못해요. I can't speak outside of the Korean language. So I can't speak besides Korean. And it adds emphasis to the fact that there's all these other languages out there. So it's not just saying, I speak only Korean. Like here, in this meeting, we only speak Korean because it's all a Korean audience. And so that everyone feels welcome, we only speak Korean here. You would use 만 because you're not saying like it's lacking. You're not saying, well, there are all these other languages and we're doing Korean. You're not saying that. You're saying only Korean. But if you're talking about not being able to speak other languages, adding 밖에 adds that nuance emphasis that you're saying, hey, there are all these other languages and I can't do those. I can only do Korean. 저는 한국어밖에 못해요. I only speak Korean. So it kind of sounds like you're saying, I wish I spoke other languages. Like, I'm sorry, it's not enough. I know I only speak Korean. 죄송해요. 저는 한국어밖에 못해요. I, ramen, although it's Korean style. 라면밖에, besides ramen, outside of ramen. 못 끓이다. 끓이다 is to boil something. And that's how you say to cook ramen. You literally say to boil ramen. So I can't boil anything but ramen. 저는 라면밖에 못 끓여요. So all I know how to make is ramen. It's implying like, I know there's all this other food out there. Look at that. And this is all there is that I can boil. 저는 라면밖에 못 끓여요. So all I can make, all I can cook is ramen. This is not a flex. 잠을 3시간밖에 못 잤어요. 잠을 3시간밖에. So, 못 잤어요. I couldn't sleep outside of 3시간, 3 hours. So, that's all I could sleep. All I slept was 3 hours. 잠을 3시간밖에 못 잤어요. So, I only slept, meaning I couldn't sleep, except for 3 hours. All I got was 3 hours of sleep. 잠을 3시간밖에 못 잤어요. So that is 만 and 밖에. But there's one more thing we can use 밖에 for. If you take a verb stem and then you attach if it ends with a consonant or a lir if it ends in a vowel. Now this is the exact same form you'll use for 100 other grammar forms, such as making the future tense, as well as when you're making the 수 있다 and 수 없다 forms, meaning can and can't. But now, instead of just saying 수 없다, like I cannot, like 갈 수 없어요, I can't go. 할 수 없어요, I can't do it. Now you're adding in 수 밖에 없다, for example. 할 수 밖에 없어요. So, 수 is not a normal Korean noun, but it's a special noun that's only used in grammar forms, specifically this grammar form, 수 있다 and 수 없다, and it means an ability. So if you say 할 수 있어요, 갈 수 있어요, 먹을 수 있어요, you're saying 있어요, I have or it exists, the ability to do. 할 수 있어요. So it exists the ability to do it, meaning I can do it. So besides the ability to verb, I don't have any other abilities, is what you're saying, literally. So if you say like 갈 수밖에 없었어요, 가다, to go, 갈 수밖에 없었어요. You're not saying 갈 수 없었어요, I couldn't go. You're saying I couldn't do anything except go. This is an idiomatic expression that literally means that, but idiomatically means I can't do anything but. We might say, I can't help but do something. Or I have no choice but to do something. Like, that's all I could do. Or maybe, man, there was nothing else to do but this. And you can say 없어요 in the present tense if it's something right now, or 없었어요 in the past. Like, that's all I could do. Like, I couldn't help it. So let's look at a couple example sentences. 사진을 찍다 is to take a photo. 사진을 찍을 수. Let's just look at this. 없었어요. I couldn't take a photo, right? I did not have the ability to take a photo. I couldn't take a photo. 수 밖에. Except for the ability to take a photo, I didn't have any other ability. I couldn't help but take a photo. I just had to get a photo. 기다리는 수밖에 없어요. 수, except for the ability to wait, there's nothing I can do. So, I just have to wait. Like there's nothing else I can do except wait. But wait, I'm sure you noticed this. 기다리는. This form, 수 없다, typically will be used with the 을 or lir ending after a verb stem, which is technically the future tense verb ending. But you also can see it used with the present tense verb ending, which has 는. You can also use it with 는. So 기다리는, 하다 would be 하는, 가다 would be 가는. It's the exact same meaning, but it's a little bit more of a written form. It's not as common when speaking, but you'll see both. 기다리는 수밖에 없어요. I just have to wait. Okay, that is the lesson. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again next time. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.